Algebraic fractions, right? What are algebraic fractions? An algebraic fraction is a fraction whose numerator and denominator are algebraic expressions, right? The denominator of any algebraic fraction may not equal 0. Why? Because 0 is non-defined, right? Is undefined, forgive me. Algebraic fractions are the culmination of the laws that you have learned and studied in regards to fractions and everything you studied when it comes to factorizing expressions, right? So in this section, you'll learn how to put your prior knowledge together to solve complex problems, right? So here's a quick rundown or a touch base of all of the algebraic fractions that you're supposed to have learned up until this point, right? So they're all there on the screen. You need to know how to manipulate fractions because this is your fraction work put together with algebraic work. And if you don't grasp, good control over fractions, you're going to struggle, cool. So it's not really anything very difficult you can pick up. So here are all of the questions that you guys are going to be doing. First of all, I'm just going to be doing a couple of questions with you guys that I believe might be tricky. So the first question I'm going to do is E, right? Because if you look on the panel on the side, these are all of the answers to all of these questions here. So I got you guys in clutch. If you don't understand something, you can always hit me up in the DMs. But E is not part of all of the answers that we have here. So I want to solve E for you guys real quick. So let's write down E. So guys, here is your E, right? Here's E. And we're going to solve E together. So how are we going to solve E? Well, first of all, we're going to need to simplify the numerator of the first term and also simplify the denominator, right? And one thing that you'll notice is that this is a fraction divided by a fraction, meaning it's going to be the first term times the reciprocal of the next term, right? The second term. And what is the reciprocal? Well, the reciprocal is essentially when you take the numerator and bring it to the denominator and take the denominator to the numerator. So I'm going to factorize everything or simplify everything. And I'm also going to change this from a divide to a multiply or a times. And I'm going to do that all in one line so you guys can watch along. So the first thing we're going to have is we're going to have an M plus a 9. We're going to have an M plus a 2 because 9 times 2 is positive 18, right? And a 9 plus 2 is a positive 11, right? So we look for the factors of 18 that when added together will give us the middle term. Cool. So I don't need to teach you how to factorize quadratic trinomials because we have done that in our factorizing video. So this right here can be recognized as a difference of squares because we have an m squared and this can be expressed as a 2 to the power of 2 or a 2 squared. Meaning, how would we express that? It's going to be an m plus 2 m minus 2, right? So now we're going to have a times sign here, and here we have a 3m as our common factor, and then we have an m plus a 9, right, over 24m, right, as our common factor with an m minus a 2, right? So what you notice, there are things that we can cancel out. So this plus 9 and this plus 9 cancel out. This my m minus 2 and this m minus 2 cancel out, and this 2m plus 2m plus 2 cancel out. So what are we going to have? We're going to have a 1 over 4 times a 24 over 24m, forgive me, over a 3m, right? This can be simplified further, right? And if we simplify that further, all right? Well, it's going to simplify to a 3m goes into itself once and goes into 24m 8 times, right? And this is going to be an 8 over 4, which can be simplified to a 2 over 1, which simplifies to a 2, right? And that right there is our E completely simplified. Find that it comes down to a 2. So let's move on to our next question. So the next question I want to do with you guys is K. So guys, here is our K, right? And how are we going to work out our K? It's pretty simple. We're going to need to simplify everything. So we see that we have a division over here. And with a division, we know we're working with reciprocals, right? Especially if we're working with fractions, we're going to be working out with reciprocals. So let's get to simplifying everything. So here we have an A minus 2, right? And then in this situation, we're going to have an A, right? An A plus 1, an A plus 3 times A minus 1 over A minus 1, A plus 1 times by, here we're going to have an A minus 5, A plus 3 over A minus 2. So in this situation, what we can do is we can start canceling things out. So this cancels this. This cancels this. This cancels this. And now we simplify everything, right? So we're going to have a 1 over A plus 1 multiplied by 1 over A plus 1 multiplied by an A minus 5 over 1. And this comes down to a minus 5 over an A plus 1, A plus 1. If we simplify that further, what are we going to get? We're going to get an A minus 5 over A plus 1 squared. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is our completely simplified question, right? Completely simplified question. So I'm going to be going over and doing another question with you guys here. I think I want to do about 3 or 4, and you guys tell me, which one do you want me to do? Which one do you want me to do? Well, Birdie's telling me that you guys want me to do M, you guys, and I will gladly do M with you guys. So let's write M out. So there is our M, right? So we see that there's a couple of things that we have to simplify. We also see that we have a divide here, all right? So that means that we're probably going to be dealing with the reciprocal in this one also. So let's simplify. So I'm just going to write this 2 over 1, just to, make things clearer for ourselves. And then we're going to say times the reciprocal of A plus 2B over A plus B. And then we're going to start to simplify this term, right? These two cannot be simplified any further. Now we're going to simplify this. So how can this be simplified? Well, we're going to have a b. This should be a b minus 3a b plus 3a 3 plus, this should actually be a 2 plus a 2a, right? Plus a 2a. Hope you guys can see it. Plus a 2a, all right? Over, this is a difference of squares, so we're going to have an a plus 2b, a minus 2b multiplied by a we're going to say a minus 2b, right? A plus b over, this seems to be a 3a minus b, right? So having a look at that, we start to look for things that can cancel each other out, right? Let's put those in brackets. So we'll start to look for things that can cancel each other out. We see that this and this cancel each other out. We see that this a plus b cancels that out. We see that this and this cancel each other out. And is there anything else that cancels each other out? Well, I don't necessarily see anything right now. So let's bring it down. We're going to have a 2 over 1 multiplied by, this is completely cancelled out. So I believe it's essentially going to be a 1 over 1 multiplied by a b minus 3a, right? B plus 2a over 1 multiplied by 1 over 3a minus b, right? So I don't know if you can see, but the terms in both of these binomials are the same, right? So because both of these terms are the same, there's something that we can do here, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to take this negative out, right? We're going to change the entire biology of this binomial, and we're going to have this be a negative b plus 3a b plus 2a, right, over 1 times by this 1 over 3a minus b, right? And then we're going to have this 2 over 1 and then this 1 over 1, right? Cool. So since the situation is like this, we're going to be able to have those two cancel each other out. Then we're going to have a situation, so I'm just going to multiply these and I'm going to get a 2 over 1, and I'm going to have a negative b plus 2a over 1, right? Multiplied by a 1 over 1, right? So what we're going to have here is going to be a 2, a negative b, and negative 2a, right? So everything is over 1. We're going to leave it at that, and then we're going to simplify it further, and we're going to end up having a 2, let's have it as a negative 2b minus 4a, or we can have this as a negative 2 b minus 2a, right, plus 2a. So this is m. We're going to look for m, and what we're going to find is our answer is very much similar to m, right? Only that m was written as negative 2 2a plus b. You could rewrite that binomial in however fashion you would want, but the answer is correct because both terms inside the binomial, are both positive. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been your algebraic fractions video. I tackled a couple of problems with you guys, and I hope you guys can hit me up if you're struggling with any other problems, right? I hope you guys can hit me up if you're struggling with any other problems. I hope we can have discussions about these, but this should be the end of the algebraic essentials video, so our playlist. So we should be moving on to much more complex stuff, and you guys should like, follow, and share. If anybody else is having a struggle with algebra, do your part by sharing it, right? If not, just like, comment, do all of those lovely things so that the algorithm can push my video out. My name is James, and you're watching Amani Teaches. Thank you for watching up until the end. Find the link to this document in the description below, and save yourself, guys. Save yourself. Mathematics is not difficult. You just need to follow all of the concepts and master them to the T.